Friends, good afternoon, good evening, Shabbat Shalom. We are going to get started in the red prayer book on page 10. Yedid nefesh harachaman meshoch avdach eretzonach yarutz avdach kemoaya ishtachaveh mohadarach ki erava yedidutach minafet suf vechotam Adorna eziv haolam nafshi cholat ahavatach ana elna refana la beharot la noam zivach as titchazek v'titrapeh והייתה לך שפחת עולם, ותקיה אמונה רחמך, וחוסנה בן אהבך, כי זה כמה נכסף, ליראה בתפארת עוזך, Ana eli machmad libi koshana ve'al titalam igalena ufros chalivi alai et sukat shalomach ta'ir eretz michavadach Nagila venis mechabach Maher ahov kiva moed V'chaneni ki me'olam Yalalai lai 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 Yalalai lai 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 Yalalai lai 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 Yalalai lai lai Yalalai lai 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 Yalalai lai 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 Yalalai lai 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 Yalalai lai lai Yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la 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 la, yala la la la, yala la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la. Page 11. Lechun ranena ladonai naria letzor yisheno nekadma fanav betoda mizmirat naria lo Arba'im shana kot bador Vahomaram toel levavhem vahem le'yadu derachai Asher nishbati be'api im yamon amanuchati. Pages 13 and 14. Shiru ladonai shir chadash Shiru ladonai kol haaretz Shiru ladonai baruch shemo basru meyom leyom yeshuato safru bagoyim kevodo bechol ha'amim nifleotav ki gadol Adonai Olam me'od norahu al kol Elohim ay ki kol Elohim melilim va'adonai shamayim asap Hoda v'hadar lefanav oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho Havol Adonai mishpechot amim Havol Adonai kavod va'oz Havol Adonai kevod shema So mincha uva'ol achatzrotav ay hishtachavu ladonai behadra kodesh gilu mipanav poharet imru vagoyim Adonai malach avtikon tevel baal timot Yadinamim b'meisharim, Yadinamim b'meisharim, Yismechu hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz, Yiram hayam, Omelo, lo sadai, V'chol asher ba, Az yeranenu kol atzeyar, Lifnei Adonai ki hiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek ve'amim be'emunato. Pages 15 and 16. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu im rabim anam rafal sevav. Ohave Adonai sinura shomer nafshot chasidav meyad reshayim yatzilem or zaru ala tzadik ulishvelev simcha simchu tzadikim ba'Adonai v'dula zachar kodsho. Page 17. Mizmar shilonai shir chadash kinifot asa hoshi alo yimino uzro kodsho. Neharakim kalchaf yachad harim yeranenu lifnei Adonai kiva lishpat haaretz yishpat teva betzedek v'yamim b'meisharim. Pages 19 and 20. Adonai malach yirgezu amim yoshev keruvim tanut haaretz Adonai b'tzion gadol. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahar kodsha Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Page 21. If you're comfortable doing so, please rise. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shema, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai Ma'im Rabim, Kol Adonai B'Koach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et Arzei Halvanon, Vayarkidehem Kehemo Egel, Levanon V'Hasirion, Kemoven Re'emim. Kol Adonai Chotzev Havotesh. Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar. Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh. Kol Adonai Yechol Elayalot. Vayachasov Yarot. Uvehichala Kola. Omer kavod, kula omer kavod. Adonai lamabul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Page 23, and we have a guest. Sure. You may be seated.
Shamar bezachar bedibur harishmeya el hane yuchadajana vishma Hashem tifer belitila lechadadi likakala bene shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat, Lehuvena Akivina, Haberam Parashmi Kadam, Nesuka, Sokmasa, Lemachakira, Lechadadi, Likrakala, Pene Shabbat, Nekabela, Nikdash Mela, Dear Melissa, Kumita, Mita Fafehara, Bemekaba, Favehu Yakama, Alai Fama, Kakala, Pene Shabbat, Kabela, Bitna Ari, Mela Farkumi, Lishi, Big Day, Tibar, Tommy, Alia, Benny Shah, Betalaf, Mikola, Nashigala, Lefadad, Ili, Prakala, Pene Shala, Nekabela, Idore, Idore, Kiva, Kumiyori, Tildaberi, Kevela, Alai, Niva, Lefadadi, Krakala, Pene Shaba, Nekabela, Leteva Shivela Tikami Mati Shtafafi Umate Yachesu Ani Benishmeta Irrational Dirty Likakala Tene Shabane Kabelan Shisa Shasai Teran Akuko Mevalai Yasisalai El Hayat Jesus Atan Efadadi, Likakala, Tene Shabane Kabela, Yamin Iswa, Tifra Siveta Dana, Dariti Ayali, Ben, Osi Ben Ismaha, Ben Agira.
All right, we may be seated. We turn to page 27, a psalm for the Sabbath day. Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, mizmor shir liyom hashabbat. Tov le'odot l'Adonai, zemer shemcha, yon le'gilo v'chaz dachal v'chalila, t'lezer b'mino, Tzadikata Mar Yifrach Ke'eretz Balvanam Yizkeh Shetolim Behevet Adonai Bechasrot El Ya'apricho Adenovan Besed Deshe Ananim Yeolahagi Yashana Oritzu Lo Avlata Adonai Malach Lavesh Lavesh Mikolot Maim Rabim Adir Mishperayam Adir Bamarom Arana Erotechnim Kodesh And on this Shabbat, even as we are joining together in celebration, we are remembering those who are observing yard sites at this season of the year, who are remembering a loss. This Shabbat, today we have been remembering Emily Granith, Rebecca Adler, Manny Roth, and Ruth Walensky. Beginning tonight, Harris Klein, Lucy Grantham, Arthur Herberg, Lillian Lashinsky, Max Lipson, Manny Stern, Miriam Wise, Richard Franken, Sarah Grossman, Annie Kaminsky, Tavin Kaminsky, Robert Nelson, David Sachs, Jenny Sagal, Celia Simon, Irene Tabakman, Stephen Mark Wexler, Max Goldberg, Rose Heller, Jack Husney, Nathaniel Morton Poland, Helen Proser, Ada Baron, Bella Height, Marguerite Gingold, Samuel Grinzade, Bernard Kirsch, Ida Leiter, Jack Leibowitz, Vivian Meyerson, Harry Needle, Ashley Samuels, Aaron Solomon, Max Stone, Terry Tenenbaum, Toba Trestman, Carl Zion, Mary Lesh, Saul Zuckerman, Suzette Cohen, Joanne Marks, Abraham Fasser, Kenneth Guttenplan, Dorothy Seiden, Milton Shamitz, and Vonnie Tillum. We'll keep all of those names in mind, and it's our tradition that we all rise, if we're comfortable doing so, to support those who are saying Mourner's Kaddish, and you'll find Mourner's Kaddish on page 30. Yid Gadal, V'Yid Gadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'Yalma Divrach Hirute, V'Yamlich Malchute, V'Chayechon U'Vyomechon U'Chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'Gala V'Zman Kariv Imru Amen. Yehi Shmer Rabba Mavorach Le'olam Omeomaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei Kudasha Rechu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shmaya v'chaim. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. Shabbat shalom and welcome everyone. I think I'm happier to see you than you are to see me. I'll just leave it there. But in addition to this Shabbat welcoming and celebrating some of our new members, we also have a special guest this week. So this is JTS Ambassador Shabbat. JTS, the Jewish Theological Seminary, is really one of the preeminent institutions for training rabbis in North America and even the world. And I'm not just saying that because I went there, but actually every rabbi you've hired who still works here, and even some who didn't, all went there. We have this partnership with JTS where each year they send one of their students, not because they're looking for a job, but simply to learn more about our community and help us learn and appreciate JTS. And so a quick bio, Mark Hirsch is a fourth-year rabbinical student at JTS. He also spent a year studying in Jerusalem. He is an educator whose mission is to pay forward the meaning he has found in Jewish life. He is a rabbinic intern at the United Synagogue of Hoboken and the Torah reading coordinator at Temple Zion Beth Israel in Philadelphia, and he builds relationships with folks in those communities. Even tonight, he is serving as a JTS ambassador. He was in Plano, Texas as rabbinic intern for the high holidays, and he is particularly well-loved. We have some teenagers with us tonight from across Atlanta and some more coming. He is a beloved staff person at Camp Ramah Darom, is here also representing Ramah a little bit. Before going to rabbinical school, Mark was a special education teacher in Chicago, where he was a Teach for America Corps member. And he also went to JTS undergrad, where he studied history and Talmud. And his goal is to synthesize the academic and religious approaches to his studies of Judaism. And he hopes to help others find meaning in their Jewish lives. And he is planning to serve a congregation one day. So we're really, really pleased to welcome Rabbi Hirsch as our guest. And I've been remiss. This program is sponsored by the Gold family, so they're not here tonight, but if you see them and you like what happened, tell them thank you. Okay.
Shabbat shalom to this whole community. It is really a pleasure to get to spend this Shabbat in community with all of you, and especially to meet many new members of our community as well here tonight. So I'm thinking a lot about the goodness that may have occurred over the course of this week.
Stand where the
Microphone? Got it. Great. I'm thinking a lot about much of the goodness that has occurred over the course of this week with us as individuals and us as a community here as well. So in the spirit of new member Shabbat, in the spirit of my first visit in this community, I'm going to invite you for a minute to think about what I like to call the BPOW, the best part of your week. Take a minute to think whether that was something personal, something professional, something in your school, in your place of work, in your home. And I'm going to ask you for the next 2 minutes to turn to somebody sitting near you, preferably somebody who you do not already know or somebody you want to get to know a little bit more, and to wish each other both Shabbat Shalom and share for just about 2 minutes what is that best part of your week. I'll invite you to finish up your last thought. Terrific. So thank you for sharing with each other. Terrific. Thank you for sharing with each other. And in circulating around, just even briefly, I've heard so much goodness that has been surfaced from our lives. I've heard personal stories. I heard some travel stories over the course of the week. I've heard some professional accomplishments as well that have occurred in our lives. And that has been a truly uplifting moment to get to fill the space and to bring into each other's lives as we begin Shabbat here. Not the only place, though, that we get to experience moments of goodness like we have shared just now today, also occur, though, in our Torah portion for this Shabbat and even in the Passover Seder. So even though it is January 24th and Passover, thankfully, is still months away, we'll think for a few moments about a particular ritual in the Passover Seder that I think uplifts and actually makes visible a lot of the moments of goodness that I've heard so many people in this very room getting to share. This is a ritual that is actually also sourced in our parsha, in our Torah portion for this Shabbat, Parshat Va'era. In the Passover Seder, we have the practice of drinking 4 cups of wine interspersed at different parts of the Seder. Some before we tell the story, some during the story, 1 or 2 during the story, 1 after the story as well. And the source of drinking these 4 cups of wine is 2 particular verses in this week's Torah portion. Each of these 4 cups represents an element of goodness, not that different, I will say, from what I've heard been shared in this room here as well, a particular blessing that we experience in our lives that the people of Israel experienced thousands of years ago in the story of Egypt, and that we experience by retelling that each Passover at the Seder. Those 4 verses that we read about in this parsha are the following. The first is, V'hotzeti etchem mitachat sivlot Mitzrayim, that God says to Moses to tell the Israelites, I will take you out of the pain of Egypt. The second, V'hitzalti etchem me'aboratam, I will save you from the servitude you've been subject to. The third, V'ga'alti etchem, I will redeem you. And the fourth, V'lakachti etchem lila'am, I will take you to be my people. So what does it mean that we drink 4 cups of wine, that we read about these 4 different actions of goodness that God showed upon the people of Israel that we emulate? What does it mean that we're talking about that tonight in a room filled, beginning Shabbat, with so many blessings here? Well, the first 2 are physical changes. The first, V'hotzeti etchem, is commonly understood as a physical change, that the people of Israel left their lives in Egypt and moved out of there, and that in and of itself is an element of goodness to appreciate. So I may have heard people circulate across the room here talking about moments of moving to a new place, getting to a new destination, moving to a new house, starting a new experience physically. And for me, coming into Sandy Springs last night really was a new experience, and that's been a tremendously fulfilling one thus far already. The second cup of wine and the second verb that we read about, V'hitzalti, that I will save, that is understood as a change of status. People of Israel left their previous status as slaves and became free people to worship their God and to experience then a new life. So I've also heard in this room, even in the last few minutes as well, a change of status that many of us have gotten to experience in this week that has been an element of blessing or an element of goodness. Changing to a new job, taking on a new task, getting a new role in our lives. The beauty, though, is that these are only 2 of the 4 cups of wine that we drink at the Passover Seder, and I think also only about half of the experiences of blessing that we get to experience in our lives as well. So the third cup of wine, V'ga'alti etchem, that God says to Moses that he will redeem the people, is understood as a spiritual change. This is understood to mean that the people of Israel are to experience a spiritual connection, to have a religious connection, we might say. And that is something that I think is bringing many of us here to be part of this community tonight, and one that, as Rabbi Heller had mentioned, also influences my work as a rabbi to be. There's something that is drawing us, some kind of spiritual connection to God, to a higher power, to Torah, to a synagogue that is bringing us here together. And that is also a source of blessing in our lives there. Finally, the fourth cup of wine that we drink at the very end of the Seder, and that is sourced in the verb velakachti, that I will take, is understood quite literally to mean that we're going to be taken to a new place. The people of Israel, in leaving Egypt, then experience revelation at Mount Sinai, the giving of Torah at Mount Sinai, the entry eventually into the land of Israel. That by joining together with a spiritual connection into a community, they are taken to a new place altogether. And that is the hope that I have for this community that has brought me here to this weekend as part of JTS Ambassador Shabbat, and a part that I think, from hearing just a few conversations already thus far, is also bringing many of us here together today as well. That we're looking not just for a physical change, not just for a change of status, v'hotzeti v'hitzalti, but actually for a spiritual connection, for something deeper, and that's going to, God willing, bring us to a larger sense of community altogether. So I hope for this community, and I pray over the course of this weekend that we have the ability to share these stories, to elevate these blessings in our lives that so many of us have shared. And I also hope to get to continue hearing not just stories of those first two blessings, of changing place or changing status, but of a deeper connection to us as people, to us as Jews, and to us as this community. I look forward to getting to share that later tonight and over this weekend as well. Shabbat Shalom. Certainly.
And friends, it's now time for Mari, the evening service. You turn to page 39A, you'll find the Baruch, the formal call to worship, and it is traditional to rise, so please rise if you are comfortable doing so. Page 39A.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai Melech HaMashiach B'Riva.
May be seated.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzevot shemo, El Hai v'kayam, Tamidim lochalenu leolam vahed, Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim, Ahovat olam b'yisrael mahavta, Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu v'hem neger yomam v'layla ve'avtecha tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha u'bechol nafshecha u'bechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam Beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha havaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayule totafot bein einecha uchtaftam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha vehayam im shamot yishmu matzatay sheli mitzvah. Adonai Elohechem emet ve'emunah kol tzugim. Umalchuto beratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe u'vnei Yisrael lechanu shira besimcha rabba v'emaru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh Nohora tehilo tosef ele malchutecha rahu vanecha Bokeyam ifnei Moshe ze'eli anu v'yamaru Adonai imloch leolam va'ed v'ne'emar kifada Adonai et Yaakov uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu baruch ata Adonai Gal Yisrael hashkivenu who first one is God shalom Ushmor tzeitenu uvoinu lechaim uleshalom ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch ata Adonai hapares sukat shalom aleinu ve'akol mo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam ma'inai beini uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti le'olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai Et hashamayim ve'et haaretz Uvayom hashevi'i Shavat vayit nafash Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah ve'amad divra kirete ve'amlich malchute b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael b'galav bizman karif ve'imeru amen Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach Leolam olal me'al maya Yiparach ve'yishtabach Yitpa'ar v'yitman ve'yitnaseh ve'yitadar ve'yitale ve'yitalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu Le'elam min kol birchata ve'shirata Tushbechata ve'nechemata Da'amiran be'alma v'yimeru. Amen.
The Silent Amidah, pages 47 through 52. If you are still in your personal prayer, take just as long as you need. Otherwise, follow with me as I offer a prayer for Israel. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless the people in the state of Israel. Spread your sukkah of protection over all who live in fear of attack. Protect the defenders of the land of Israel. Guide and strengthen their hands to defeat those who seek harm, and spare and protect the innocent. Return our soldiers home safe and victorious. Give wisdom, good counsel, and resolve to Israel's leaders, and give all of Israel's people a sense of unity and purpose. Watch over our captives, and may they all return home speedily. Let your presence be with them and remind them that they are neither alone nor forgotten, and give courage to those who wait for them. Grant healing of body and soul to those who have been wounded and violated, so they may be blessed with full recovery and peace, and support those who care for them. Comfort those who have suffered loss and grant them consolation among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. You make peace in the heavens. Grant your blessing of peace to us, to the whole world, and to Israel, and let us say.
Amen.
Continue now on page 53 by
Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishpot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayikadesh oto kivo shavat mikol melachto Asher bara Elohim lasot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Konesh Shamayim va'aretz, Magen Avot bidvaro, Mechaye Metim b'mamaro, Ha'el HaKadosh she'en kamohu, Hameniach le'amo b'yom Shabbat kodsho, Kivam ratza lehaniach lachem, Lefanav na'avod be'yirav ha'fachad, V'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid, Me'en ha'brachot. El ha'odahot Adon ha'shalom, Mekadesh ha'shabbat, U'mevarech shvi'i, Umeniach bikdusha le'am bedushnei oneg. Zecher l'maaseh v'reishit. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu retzevim nuchatenu. Kashen b'mitzvotecha v'tein halkeinu b'toratecha. Sabeinu mituvecha v'simcheinu b'shuatecha. V'tar libeinu lovdecha be'emet. V'anchilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'avar v'ratzon shabbat kodshecha. V'anuchu v'ach Yisrael mekadeshei shemecha. Baruch atah Adonai. Mikadesh HaShabbat. Yigadal v'Yigadash Shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra kirtei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'heidecha beit Yisrael b'agala u'bizman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olel me'al maya yitbarach Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitparvam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei t'kudesha b'richu Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Tikal bautz lo tonu v'araton l'chol Yisrael, kodam avachon di b'shmaya v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleni v'kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleni v'kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
May be seated. So as promised, we are going to delay your dinner very briefly because this is a special night of welcome. One of the things that I love about our congregation is that there are always new people joining us, bringing their talents, bringing their strengths, bringing their energy. And in this week's Torah portion, when we read about the plague of the frogs, which is my favorite of all the plagues since I'm a firstborn, it says something odd. It says, when it talks about the frogs, it says Vatal Hatzfardea, which means the frog went up. So one frog is not very much of a plague on its own. And then as the verses go on, it then says that's unless it's in your house, right? But the Tzfardaim, then later on, it uses the plural. And so there are a lot of different explanations, some of them thoughtful, some of them fanciful. But my favorite is that there was sort of one frog that started, and Rabbi Akiva said that frog was actually giant, right? This was like Frogzilla, basically. And then when they shot at it, it like broke up into a lot of little frogs that swarmed around Egypt. But my favorite explanation tonight is that it started with one, but that one frog actually summoned all of the others. And so one of the wonderful things about community, but also the challenges of community, is that really, like, you can do a lot of things, but somebody has to start, right? So there are some folks who are here who have been members as long as I've been around here, even longer, and it is wonderful to have our old friends. But the truth is, what really makes community special is that when we invite others in, and then we can really accomplish something. And so I feel really blessed to be able to welcome new members tonight. And I'm going to invite all of our new members who are here to come join us up on the main bima so that I can embarrass you as a group and offer you some a short blessing. And so we have Valerie Chambers, who is outside helping people get organized. Let's see, we have Daniel and Melissa Eisenman and their family, if you guys want to come up. The Fogelsons, I think I saw come in, but maybe not. Leslie and Mary Gordon, come on up and join us up here. Lauren and David Gorvies, come up to the front here. Jeff and Susan, come on up and bring the Kaplans with you. Let's see, the Cons, I think I saw you guys out there somewhere. Let's see, Adam and Ronnie, if you guys want to come up, or whoever of you are inside. William and Sarah, if you guys want to come up, summon them. There's grape juice for them in a minute. Let's see, all the Rainishes. You can come up anyway, even though you've been here forever at Sipora, but fine. Catherine Rosenfelder, if you would like to come up and join us. The Sagels. Let's see, David, if you want to come up. Rabbi Larry and Becky Cernowitz and Daniela, Samuel, and Eden. I don't see Nico here. So let's see, who am I missing who is a new member? You guys haven't joined yet, so we could make you a deal right now, but awkward. So looking around, I think everyone else we welcomed last year, but it is, Catherine, come on up. No? Okay, fine. It still works in reverse. Great. All right. So on behalf of the congregation, I'd like to offer you this blessing. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Becca, Rachel, and Leah, bless those who are joining our congregation and who are welcoming tonight, together with all the members of this congregation and all other congregations, them, their families, and all that is theirs, along with all who devote themselves to establish synagogues for prayer, those who enter them to pray, those who provide for their maintenance. May you help us provide wine for Kiddush and Havdalah. May you help us provide food for guests and bread for the hungry, tzedakah for the poor, and shelter for the homeless. And may you faithfully devote yourselves to the needs of this community for the land of Israel. May God reward you, remove from you any sickness and trouble, give you healing, and forgive any wrongdoing. May God bless you by making all of your endeavors prosper, as well as those of our entire people, our brothers, our sisters. Let us all say, Amen. Welcome. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov. all the kids to join me on the bima. All of our parents can find their way back. And I also want to remind the mocks, you guys were here longer than I was, but you left and came back, so we still welcome you. Like all the kids to join us. Two.
Go.
All right. For anyone who likes grape juice, we have a treat. And actually, we invite all of the kids, if you are under 12 or you just really like grape juice, come on down and join us up here. All right. Page 55, and if you're comfortable doing so, please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushai mitzotav v'ratzavanu v'shavat kodsho v'ratzani hilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reshit Yehu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'achata echad Shabbat Kodshecha B'Yahava U'Bratzon Ninchaltan Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. All right. And anyone here good for Aleinu? If I help you out? Page 56. Aleinu l'shabbat.
Oh, the place is yours.
Mishpachot Hadama. All right, you guys are all dismissed. Your parents miss you very much. Page 58, Mourner's Kaddish, please remain standing. Yit Gadal, V'yit Gadash, Shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma Divra Chirute, V'yamlich Malchute. V'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, V'zman Kariv Imramin. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavorach, Le'elamo Me'amaya. Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shmei Dekudesha, Breichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chaim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Please be seated. What? Yes, perfect. Some announcements. Again, Yashar Koach, thank you to Rabbi Hirsch for joining us as our JTS student ambassador. Mazal Tov to Blake Frist, his parents Lisa Frist and David Frist, grandparents Eve and Brian Frist, and Debbie and Paul Barry on his bar mitzvah tomorrow morning. To Brett Raxter, his parents Leanne and Kevin, and grandparents Marsha Raxter and Lynn and Bert Siegel on his bar mitzvah tomorrow afternoon. Mazal Tov to Seal and Mark Euster on the engagement of their son Seth Euster to Caitlin Ruskell. And in case you thought you were a new member, guess what? There is someone newer. Robbie Garber joined this week. Also, condolences, unfortunately, to the family of Anita Friedman, mother of Peggy, Sandra, Kathy and Herb Schwartz, Ken and Robin Friedman, and Linda and Charles Idelson, and grandmother of 10, including Melissa and Sean Bank, and Deborah and Mark Brown. Great-grandmother of 25, I won't list them all, but recognizing in particular Micah, Alexis, and Riley Bank, and Hannah and Jared Brown. Looking a little bit further out, this week we are looking for more members of our community to help make a minyan. Sign up in the weekly email. There is a sign up genius. Sometimes it's just one or two more people that make the difference between being able to have a service and falling a little short. On Sunday, Rabbi Bright is hosting the Synagogue Dog Park meetup at 10:30. Bring your furry friend and meet us on the land next door. Next Friday night, our service is at 5:30 so that we can encourage every member of our community to participate in an initiative called Shabbat Across Atlanta. And so we are meeting at 5:30, and there is a place where you can sign up to host or be hosted for Shabbat dinner. Valerie Chambers, or actually Melissa Kaplan, who's also here somewhere. Either of them can tell you more about what's going on. And then if you would like to learn more about the weekday morning service, on February 9th, we're doing the worldwide rap and learner service. So you'll learn about tefillin. We'll have an opportunity to ease your way into the weekday morning service. And there are bagels. Families with children 5 and under are invited to join Rabbi K and celebrate Tu B'Shvat on Sunday, February 9th at 5. I have a question about that time. You're doing it during the Super Bowl? Or I guess you're done before-ish? All right. I have questions. It's like the Puppy Bowl, but with Judaism. Okay. And Rabbi K is teaching a Melton class on the history of anti-Semitism, Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30 p.m., beginning February 12th. And I am teaching a series on Are Jews Indigenous? So learning about the real history of Jews and how we connect to the land of Israel. And that's on Tuesdays at lunchtime in person and on Zoom. And then boomers are invited to play bingo and enjoy fried chicken dinner later in February. More to come about that. All right. There's a lot more going on. You'll get an email about it. I'm not going to read everything on here, but just some notes about this Shabbat. Tomorrow morning, we are at 9, followed by Kiddush. Tomorrow afternoon, we have, and Rabbi Mark Hirsch will be our teacher. And tomorrow afternoon, we have 2 parallel services going on. If you would like to celebrate the Raxter Bar Mitzvah, we will be in here. If you would like to have a traditional mincha service, study, and I hear we have some delicious food as well, and maybe even a little bit of sluach, that is going to be at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon in the Beit Midrash. What you need to know next. Despite all of our anxiety, we actually do have a few spots left for dinner, because we did have some people who unfortunately were not able to join us. So if you are here, it was close, I'm telling you. But we do have a few spots left. So please see Valerie, our Director of Community Connections, and she will make sure that we match up the number of people who want to stay for dinner with the number of dinners that we have. Everyone is invited to at least have some challah before you head on your way. But again, see Valerie, if you did not sign up for dinner, we should be able to take care of you. All right, we are going to finish our service with Shalom Aleichem on page 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaMelech, Malachei HaMelachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom. Melachim Akadosh Baruch Hu. Oh, and I should mention, if you are staying for dinner, please be friendly, invite people to sit with you. This is not middle school. And now that I said that, I'm going to totally ruin it by saying that we do have one table reserved because Rabbi Hirsch is going to be having a special dinner with our teens. So there is a table set aside for them. And it is not wing night, people. That's not how this works. Just saying. I'm looking at you. All right. So we're going to have hamotzi, and then please make your way, if you're staying for dinner, make your way into the social hall. Otherwise, please at least have some challah. And everyone, Shabbat Shalom. Here we go. Oh, and please, Fran reminds me, please help put your books away so that we are organized for tomorrow morning. Birshut, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech motzi lechem min haaretz.
Great. Good job.
Got it.